Here on Austin Breeden, 21-482, violation of community control. Final hearing violation is failed to report January 29, February 10 of this year and thereafter. You understand the charge?
Yes.
Ms. Novotny.
Your Honor, at this time, my client would waive the final hearing and plead guilty to the probation violation.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
What's your plea to the allegation?
Guilty.
Accept your guilty plea and find you guilty. Ms. Novotny.
Your Honor, at this time, we would like the court to consider him to re-up on community control with that respect. From my understanding and what we have submitted via our social worker, Erin Mayer, is a letter from CATS that will accept ultimately Mr. Breeden to go into their facility with that respect. Otherwise, Your Honor, he is a painter. He specifically works in interior classics painting. He's been there for 4 months. Additionally, he is setting up an interview if he were to be completed and out with another company, Refinish, for painting. He's a painter by trade. He's been doing that for 16 years, Your Honor. He does have 2 kids. He's co-parenting 1 child with that respect. Ultimately, Your Honor, he informed me too that if and when the court would consider potentially keeping him on community control, he does have a place after he finishes CATS. It's an apartment. The stipulation of him having this apartment is that he has to remain sober. It's from a friend that has been sober for a very long time and has it and leases it out. And ultimately, he specified that he would lease it out to Mr. Breeden with that respect. From my understanding, Your Honor, he has 83 days on this probation violation. We're just asking for any leniency in the court to consider him on community control. Thank you.
Breeden, what do you want to tell me before I sentence you?
I'm an idiot. When I first talked to Dave when he came and seen me at the jail, I even told him that I messed up. I smoked pot, and when I did, I thought that, Dave was gonna make it the end of the world. But like Dave said, is that if I would have just talked to him, he would have worked with me on it. I know that most time you hear people come in here and tell you that they're sorry and that this, that, and the third. I'd be stupid to say that I'm sorry because I've told you it before. I am saying that I made a mistake and I should have trusted my PO instead of thinking that it was going to be the end of the world.
Well, you didn't make a mistake. You decided you didn't want to report. And the only reason you're here is because you got caught by Westlake. So it wasn't a mistake.
It was a choice.
Right. So you were put on probation in August of 21, referred to Signature Health for your mental health and drug and alcohol issues, as well as a bunch of other things you were supposed to do. You violated in October of that year. I kept you on probation. You were arrested by, was it Wycliffe in 24? Jamie?
Willoughby.
Willoughby?
Yes.
Okay. You were continuing on community control after that. Now you get arrested by Westlake in June. So this is the 3rd time you violated, and really, you just stopped showing up. Can't be on probation if you don't show up. Now, Ms. Novotny's telling me you want to go to treatment at CATS. You've been there twice before.
1 time.
Your PSR indicates twice, as well as Signature Health twice. And you won't do it. Okay, you won't show up, so you won't do it. Okay. So this doesn't work. So I'm going to terminate your community control. I'm going to sentence you on the felony to 6 months in prison with credit for 135 days. on each of the misdemeanors, 180 days on each, concurrent to the felony, and the costs are assessed. Anything else, Ms. Novotny?
No, Your Honor.
All right, we're adjourned. Rich?
Thank you, Your Honor. We're before you today on State versus Carlos Reddick, file 25 CR 406. We're here today for sentencing. The state of Ohio has had the opportunity to review the pre-sentence investigation report and is prepared to go forward. Thank you.
Mr. Mulkey?
Thank you, Your Honor. We are prepared to go forward at conference with my client and also review the pre-sentence report.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, my client is 28 years old. First and foremost, as the court is well aware, he has spent a significant portion of his adult life in prison from 2016 to 2022. He was released from parole on October 11, 2023. Your Honor, his significant portion of his life has been involved with drugs and trafficking in drugs, Your Honor. He understands that he's looking at prison today. So while he has been out on bond, he's acknowledged his responsibilities to come to court today, knowing that he has a prison sentence that he's looking at, Your Honor. We're looking to ask the court to impose a prison sentence of not more than 4 years on these matters. He also does have pending Cuyahoga County cases that he has to deal with as well. Furthermore, Your Honor, he has informed me that he is newly married to Parise Lewis. They got married in May of 2025, legally married. The salient point why I bring that up, Your Honor, is he just found out she is 7 weeks pregnant with a due date in April. So he understands that in addition to his responsibilities to the court and the prison system, he has responsibilities to his forthcoming newborn child as well, Your Honor. He's currently not employed. He represents to me that he experienced some sort of a gunshot wound last year, which is preventing him from seeking gainful employment, Your Honor. So we'd just be asking the court to take all of that into consideration. We acknowledge that he has a prison record that is not good. He also understands that our recommendation to the court for 4 years in prison does not have to be followed by the court. He is prepared to answer any questions and inquiries of the court as accurately and honestly as possible. With that all in mind, Your Honor, he did want me to ask of the court a request to see if his report date for prison can begin 30 days from today so he can spend some additional time with his wife while she's going through her pregnancy, Your Honor. So that's all I have to say at this point. Thank you.
Count 1 and 406 became count 1 and 405, and then everything else was renumbered 2 through
I think
7.
it was count 7. It was, yeah, count 7 was the former count 6 and 405. Your Honor.
Right. So the trafficking in fentanyl is count 1.
Yes.
Mr. Reddick, what do you want to tell me before I impose sentence?
I wanted to apologize for being late this morning first. I got a little bit of a late start to the day. As Mr. Moki said, I do have an unborn child on the way and things of that nature. I know I won't be there for the delivery, but as much time as I can spend, I would love to. I would also like to apologize for the reason I'm here. I understand it's not a trivial matter.
It's a deadly matter, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
I mean, these people are dropping dead from these things, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. My choices is not a reflection of of where I'm headed at in life. I may have been at that point in life of using drugs and dealing drugs at that moment, but I don't believe that's where I'm gonna end up. For the first time in my life, I got a child to think about now. I should have been thinking about other people's children doing what I was doing. well, the truth is I wasn't. So I apologize. I apologize to the courts for that, for being late. And I do appreciate the recommendation of prosecution is lenient, it's merciful. Hopefully, if the court sees fit, you know, I'm a little nervous, and I do got a speech impediment. I got a stutter, so I apologize for that too. But yes, I just wanted to say thank you for the court's time today, and yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Mr. Geigerich?
Thank you, Your Honor. There is an agreed recommendation before the court of 4 to 6 years. I'm kind of confused in the aspect that the defendant asked you for 2 years, whether he was mistaken or what, but the state of Ohio would stand behind our recommendation. Thank you.
All right. I reviewed the pre-sentence report. Listen to Mr. Reddick, listen to counsel. Considered all the provisions in 29, 29, 11, 12, and 13. You are now 28 years old.
Yes, sir.
This involved the sale of fentanyl pills in a pretty substantial amount back on July 31 of last year. Then another with a separate individual, sales in January of 25. The sale of crack, cocaine, and fentanyl. On 2 separate occasions in January. So, and as you acknowledge, these are pressed fentanyl pills. People are taking pressed fentanyl pills and croaking from those things. I just reviewed a search warrant this morning for information related to a overdose death from a pressed fentanyl pill. So it's a daily occurrence, and you're part of the problem. And you acknowledge that you were selling drugs because you didn't have any other. You never pursued any other marketable skill that allowed you to earn a living. So this is what you chose to do to earn a living. So all this stuff was July 31, January 15 of this year, January 5 of this year. You've got cases pending in Cuyahoga County right now for a drug possession. Last I knew, set for pretrial August 4. Failure to comply with the order or signal of a police officer, obstructing official business, and trafficking offenses from September of 24, scheduled for trial or pretrial September 2nd in Cuyahoga County. A multi-count aggravated burglary case scheduled for pretrial August 4th in Cuyahoga County from January 16th to 25 offense date. Those 3 things are pending. I don't know what happened there. I don't know whether you're guilty or not guilty of those offenses, but I'm not going to consider those for the purpose of this sentencing. You've got a juvenile conviction for robbery in 2012, assault conviction in juvenile in 2012, receiving stolen property in 2012. As an adult, you have a felonious assault in 2015. In 2016, you were sentenced to prison for 6 years. Got out in October of 22, so did about 6.5 years altogether. Placed on parole for a year. In 2015, you have a which occurred after the felonious assault, a burglary and grand theft. You were given a concurrent sentence of that 6 years in Cuyahoga County. 3 days after that burglary, you got an attempted felonious assault with a firearm spec in Cuyahoga. We're given concurrent time on that sentence, that prison sentence. 2 days after that offense, you've got a attempted receiving stolen property, concurrent sentence. So 4 felony convictions that landed you in prison for a total of 6.5 years, got out in 2022 in October, on parole for a year, released in 2023. And on July 31 of 2024, you're involved with this fentanyl trafficking. So you haven't done much as an adult except continuously commit serious offenses. I'm not talking about little stuff. I'm talking about serious offenses. At the time of this pretrial back in May, the offer was an agreed 5-year recommended sentence that reduced to 4 at the time of the plea on June 18th. So I'm trying to figure out why in the world, with what you did in this offense and what your record is, why in the world I would ever go along with a 4-year joint recommendation. And once again, I'm not even thinking about considering what happened in Cuyahoga County that's still pending. I don't know, and I don't, quite frankly, don't care for the purpose of what we're doing today. Is there a mandatory fine provision on this?
There is, Your Honor, $7,500 minimum, but he did file an affidavit.
How much is it?
The minimum fine would be $7,500.
On count 1?
Yes, Your Honor. The affidavit.
Nothing on count 3, or not, on count 7 rather?
I don't think so. Yes, there would be a mandatory $10,000, but minimum $5,000 on count 7, Your Honor.
And the affidavit has been filed?
It has, Your Honor.
All right, in consideration of everything that we've discussed here and the information in the pre-sentence report, on count 1, I'm going to impose a sentence of a definite minimum of 6 years up to an indefinite maximum of 9 years in prison. Whether you serve any beyond the definite minimum of 6 years is based upon the criteria and the findings of the Department of Corrections while you're imprisoned. based on your performance while you're imprisoned. There's a rebuttable presumption that you should be released at 6. If you're not, there are avenues to challenge that. It's a $7,500 mandatory fine, which will be waived pursuant to you filing the affidavit of indigency on count 7. We'll sentence you to 36 months in prison. That'll be concurrent to count 1 with a $5,000 mandatory fine, which is waived. There is credit for 4 days served in jail, and the costs are assessed. When you are released, you will be placed on post-release control for at least 18 months, up to potentially 3 years, at the direction of the parole authority. They will place conditions on you if you violate the conditions. Parole authority could return you to prison for up to 9 months for each violation, up to 1/2 of my sentence. If your violation is a new felony, you could get an additional consecutive prison sentence for the violation, the maximum of which is a greater of 18 months or 12 months, or the time left under post-release control. The remaining charges are dismissed, and the items subject to forfeiture are forfeited to the state. Anything else, Mr. Geigrich?
Nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Mulkey?
Nothing, Your Honor.
We're adjourned.